people that are spending the most time making the most money are making the most content. Direct correlation between how much content you make and how much money you make.
You have to have a form of long-form content going into 2025. The business owners who successfully scale past 30K months, they all have a form of long-form content.
Welcome to episode 69 of the Success School podcast. Today we are talking about what we've learned after analyzing over 400 social media plans in 2024. Steph, how are you feeling? Second time around recording this episode.
We have had technical difficulties. Yeah. We have had quite the tech issues this morning, but we're here and we are so committed. We are so committed to bringing this to you. Yeah. We do have our first guest in the studio today. Do you want to tell everyone who it is?
Welcome Luna Frey. She is our daughter, 4-year-old Rottweiler, IQ of 14. Enjoys long sleeps on the couch, eating a lot of food and farting.
She does love a good fart.
Welcome, Luna. So she may come into frame. So if you're not subscribed to YouTube and you want to see what she looks like, she's very big. She's so quite cute. Fat, and she's well fed. She's
well fed. Sometimes she eats our other dog's food.
Yeah, she does eat our other dog's food. But I'm actually holding a microphone today, guys. So if I sound like Bruce Buffer, that is the famous UFC presenter. Oh. It's time.
We have just finished that TV show.
We finished McMahon.
McMahon series?
Yeah, really good. McMahon, It's like McDonald's. McMahon.
I'm just trying to be more like Luna.
Yeah, more like Luna. Steph, do you want to kick us off? What's your personal win, seeing as we're changing orders on everything on this episode?
Yeah, so my personal update, not a personal win, personal update. Last night, I had a dream. About Alex and Layla Hormozi.
Oh,
now,
really?
It's not...
Sexy one?
No, not a sexy one. Not a sexy one, but we basically weaseled our way or kind of snuck into one of their conferences and I don't know, somehow we made friends with them. And they were giving us advice. And it was funny because when I woke up this morning and I spoke to Tim about it, I had said, the advice is fascinating because obviously that Layla and Alex didn't actually give us advice. And so who was it that was giving me advice? Well,
maybe they did.
It was my subconscious.
Oh.
So my subconscious in my dream was whispering to me to let go. It was whispering me to let go.
Welcome to the Woo Woo Show.
Yep.
So what do you have to let go of?
Well, you know what I have to let go of.
Okay.
I have to let go of the way that things have been done so that we can create and path a new way forward with regard to very, very, so it doesn't sound so woo-woo, our social media strategy.
Next step, we're going to stop making content. We're going to manifest.
Yeah, we're just going to sit here and meditate and you guys will witness it.
Yeah, that's the next level of that.
So that was me, but
how did that come to you?
Lesson of the week. Well, Layla basically just kind of laughed at me in my dream and said, at the end of the day, you're not doing enough. And if you really want to take it to where you're trying to go and have the impact that you want to have, you're going to have to do a hell of a lot more. And, simple scales and complex fails. And that was kind of the message of my dream. I woke up this morning and I was ready to do some stuff different. Tim was rejoicing. Thank you, Alex and Layla, for popping in and giving me that piece of advice.
I love that. So if you resonate with that, let Steph know on Instagram. Let's send her a DM.
If you have dreams about me, I would love to know.
Yeah, she would love to know.
I would love to know. Tim, what's yours?
My lesson of the week. Well, it's not a lesson of the week. It's a personal update. Same as Steph. So officially the title of YouTuber now.
Yes.
So we have 223 subscribers on the Success School YouTube account. We're fucking killing it, obviously.
We are so famous.
And then
when does YouTube start paying you?
Yeah, it must be soon. It must be soon. I'm giving so much value to the platform that they need to be paying me in abundance. Anyway, up to 88 subscribers on my own account. The reason I did start is we do predict that long form content like a podcast or like YouTube will be a thing that separates brands going into 2025. So we're kind of getting a head start on that. 88 strong. I think Steph's at 127 strong.
127 strong.
But yeah, we're moving. 4 videos. Steph's got 6. They're probably trainings from our client portal. So yeah, absolutely killing it. But anyway, we're on the YouTube wagon. So if you know us personally, please just refer to us as YouTubers and podcasters now because that's what we're at. But we're going to be making a play for that. A video a week and we're going to keep it really simple. I think when you think about YouTube, a lot of people would think, it has to be high value, high budget, high edits, those type of things, high production. We're just going to keep it really simple. A couple of Google slides, some presentations, great content, really actionable stuff. One a week is kind of our plan.
Totally.
And I guess the lesson here is you got to start somewhere.
Yes.
you're not going to start with 1 million subscribers like Mr. Beast and, you know.
He didn't
like,
start with 1 million subscribers either.
You know, we are not really starting at zero. We have a bit of a run up with this, but
88 subscribers.
88 subscribers. We're getting going.
But I think, like, on that, I think a lot of people do not start things because they're scared to look crappy to begin, you know? And I just think you're missing out on so much opportunity. Like, you and I are so fine with being sucky to start, and we just laugh about it. Like, it's not perfect, and we're using Google Docs now, and probably in 3 years' time, we'll be like, whoa, look at us back then.
Yeah,
like,
100%.
with our high production value, hopefully more Mr. Beast-like, you know, maybe, potentially. And so I think, like, you don't have to have all the knobs dialed, but you literally just have to start.
Yeah, let's maybe potentially completely move into our topic. So what are we talking about today?
Did I say potentially completely or what?
Yeah.
Okay.
You said potentially, maybe completely.
Today we have an upskill episode where we dive deep on a business topic and give you actionable tips, tools, and hacks that you can use right away in your business. And we're very, very lucky to see a lot of the behind the scenes of social media content plans and ad strategies from businesses earning 10K a month all the way up to 5 million, because we're in a couple of masterminds and they share this stuff with us, which is really cool. And obviously we see all of our clients' content plans as well. And so we thought that it would be super,
Or lack of.
So we thought that we would like share some things that we see pretty often that are potentially holding people back, some lessons we've learned from analyzing all of these content plans, so that hopefully you guys can learn something too. So Tim, do you want to kick us off?
Yeah, lesson number 1, people that are spending the most time making the most money are making the most content. Okay, direct correlation between how much content you make and how much money you make. Okay.
Yep.
And I think a lot of people get this backwards, especially in the small business world. They spend so much time delivering their product or their service to their clients that they content and creating social media and YouTube and long form becomes an afterthought for people, when it probably needs to be the other way around. Like, the first thing you need to do every day should probably be like, how am I going to make more content to build my brand, to build awareness, to bring people in, to help people know, like, and trust me. And then it becomes a lot easier to scale a service when you have an abundance of customers that are willing to do business with you.
Absolutely. So let's say we're talking to I'm going to say solopreneur. When I say solopreneur, I'm probably going to say, like, you are running your business pretty much on your own. Maybe you have hopefully a VA helping you.
Yeah.
Honestly, anyone who's listening to this podcast, I don't care what stage you're at, you should have a VA to help you.
Yeah.
So let's say you have a solopreneur, they're maybe making, let's say, 10K a month, maybe 15K a month, and they've got a VA helping them. And so 10, 15K a month, that means they have quite a few clients under their belt at this point.
Yeah.
How much time should they be spending on making content, and how would you recommend breaking that up into their week?
Yeah. So my first ever mentor, Sean Greeley from MPE Fitness, I remember the first call I ever got on with him, he was like, the guidelines for working on the business is 10 to 20 hours a week, and 80% of that should be spent making content or marketing. And I kind of thought to myself, that's a fucking lot of content or time marketing. And this was like 13 years ago or something. So this
back before social media even really had a rise.
I was like, this guy's off his head.
Yeah.
Like, no way I'm making that much. But now I'm like, cool, I kind of get it. So 80% of working on the business, I think, should be around making content, if that's one of your roles to bring people into the company. What are your thoughts?
I did see a statistic the other day. A girl was trying to prove that making YouTube content, which takes her approximately 20 hours a month for one video, which blows my mind, was saying that it takes people about 10 to 20 hours a week to make their social media content. Is that too much time to spend on making content? You know, if you have a 40-hour work week, let's say, and you have to service your clients, where do you think the happy medium is?
I think there's 3 parts to this question, not just 2, 3.
Good.
So there's making content, there's making content. So one is just doing it for the sake of doing it, and the other one's doing it well.
Right.
And then the other one's doing it well, but it taking way too long.
Yes.
So we've been in all 3 of those buckets in many times throughout our entrepreneurial career. But I think you need to make good content, and you need to make a good quality and quantity of content. I think that is the key for it. I think people do spend too much time because they do overthink it, and they don't actually have a structure or a plan to go about it. And I think sometimes, like, you need to look at it from an 80-20 point of view. Like, what are you actually doing that is creating the results in your business? I feel like you just need to be getting out there with high quality 8 out of 10 stuff. Doesn't need to be 10 out of 10 and the best at all times. And like I did drop on a podcast previously, I think a lot of social media or making content is it's how it looks versus actually what's actually in it.
Yeah, totally.
What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. And I think that, 10 hours a week would be probably a pretty sweet spot for someone taking it really seriously. If you're someone that's wanting to scale up past 30, plus 40, plus 50K months, then yeah, I do think that you need to be spending at least 10 hours a week on making content. Now, I'm not talking about stitching reels together
Yeah.
for 10 hours a week.
no.
That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about writing, great emails. We're talking about writing good, videos to film. We're talking about making good podcasts. We're talking about potentially getting on some YouTube channels. We're talking about potentially getting on guest podcasts. Like, there's a lot of ways to make content that aren't just that. And you can be really smart. Like, you can cross-post most content to most platforms. You don't have to be spending, when we say make content, we don't want you making 3 reels that take 10 hours. That's far too long.
It's a waste of time. Steph, do you want to give us lesson 2?
Lesson number 2. The business owners who successfully scale past 30K months, they all have a form of long-form content. I don't want to be the person who's just banging this home. But
Bang it home. I think they need to hear it.
I think you need to hear it.
Yeah.
You have to have a form of long-form content going into 2025.
Yeah.
It's just a non-negotiable. I just really don't think that, especially if you're a personal brand, but even if you're not, people need to know who you are, what your brand story is, how you're different. And I think that it is the only way to really build an extreme amount of trust, unless you want people to spend 100 days in your funnel waiting to buy from you. What was the statistic that Ravi shared?
It's like 741. So I don't even know what that even means. It was like they need to consume 7 hours across 4 different platforms
to have one purchase.
Yeah.
And so 7 hours of content when you're making 30-second reels is
tons.
Many
make Steph do
many maths. It's very many maths, and it's a lot of time, but it's 7 hours across YouTube and podcasts where they can consume a lot back to back. I mean, you could consume 7 hours within a few days. And so I think that's really where we're going. And I think the people who, and someone said, I think it was Ravi actually said, and this is someone that we've been learning a bit about YouTube from.
Ravi.
Oh,
Ravi.
Sorry, Ravi. Ravi.
That's so Aussie. Ravi.
Ravi.
Fucking Ravi, mate.
And he was saying that, it's hard. And people don't start YouTube because it takes time. And he was like, but that's exactly what makes YouTube so worth it, is because other people can't replicate that. Like, they can replicate good copy. They can copy someone else's post. They can literally copy someone else's landing pages word for word, but they cannot copy your long form content. And so, yes, it takes a long time to build, good rapport on something like a podcast, or, there's a high production value to what we're doing right now. And there's a high production value to YouTube, and it does take time to build those and to understand it as a new marketing platform. But it's so worth it because most of your competitors won't bother to do it, which is why it's so powerful moving into 2025.
I agree.
Yeah. Lesson number 3.
Lesson number 3, and it is multiple posts per day. And I know a lot of people screech at this as soon as I say that. But, people doing really well on social media, doing multiple posts a day. Let me give you a mathematical example here. So let's say we post 7 times a week, and let's say that all factors are equated equally here. So it's good quality, it's to the specific ideal client. They want to see it. It gives them value. So imagine that. And imagine each post is seen by 1,000 people. So you've got 7,000. And then we double it, we got 14,000. What's going to be better long-term for your marketing? Is it going to be 14,000 people seeing your posts every week, or is it going to be 7? Obviously, it's the volume game. And then all the, maybe organic coaches out there are going to scream at me and be like, but it's all about quality. I get that. It is about quality, but sometimes you can't beat quantity as well. So being in their face more, quote unquote, in their face on social media is going to be a good thing for your brand. What do you think?
Yeah, views and impressions. People have to see your brand a certain amount of times. People have to experience you a certain amount of times. People have to read your thoughts a certain amount of times. And thank you for joining us, Luna. Luna's just joined us. They have to consume your stuff a lot of times. And so, I think it comes down to impressions. Like, the reason that is even a metric that gets measured across all platforms is because impressions matter. Like, the amount of times people see your brand, it matters. That's literally how you build a brand. So I think that multiple posts per day is something that they're all doing. And when we say they're all doing, we're talking about people who are making a lot of money using social media across multiple platforms.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, take us into lesson 4.
Lesson 4 is give. Do you want to teach where you learnt this lesson?
Whenever anyone starts a business, I recommend getting in a networking group. Like, I used to go to BNI, business networking, whatever. And when you go in there, it's a bit of like a culty type thing, and they give you like an induction, and it's like a hazing type thing. And the one kind of lesson I really got from that whole like hazing induction process was giver's gain. So at any point where you're networking or you're marketing or you're, having a one-to-one chat with someone, you should go into the conversation or the relationship with the intention to give them as much value as possible, because you will get back what you give. And they didn't say this, but the energy you put into the universe is reciprocated and comes back to you tenfold usually. So this is manifesting show now. Manifesting school.
We are having manifesting school come out very soon for anyone who's interested. No, but it's true. And I think that this is why people ask me recently, Steph, how do you guys hire such A players into your team so quickly? Like literally we put a job ad up and within 2 days we're hired, they're onboarded, it's done. We've attracted the best person, the best candidate. We like win every game that we play in this world in that hiring space, right? And the reason is because of your network.
Yeah.
It's always your network that delivers. And the reason your network delivers is because you are such a giver. And when I talk about Tim being a giver, like what I mean by that is that it doesn't matter who drops into your DMs, especially if you've known them for years. And most of the case, these are people that you've known for years. If they need something, you're the first person to go out of your way to connect them. So whether that's they need something from us, like literally you had a one-to-one this week with a friend who's been a friend for a long time who, you know, you don't charge, you don't, you know, you don't say, hey, yeah, of course I'll do a one-to-one. Like for a mate, you'll just do it.
Yeah.
And you give so much to people all the time. If someone's like, hey, I'm struggling with this, you'll connect them with a person who can solve that problem. And so we call you a power connector. And the reason that you're a power connector is because you give. And you do it without ever expecting anything back. But because you do it, you get a lot back.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think that there's a lot of people out there right now who think that if I give too much, people are going to take advantage of me, or I can give too much away and no one's going to buy my stuff. And there is like no world of that. Like if I look at all the people in our world right now who are making the most content, who are making the most money, they giving. There's freebies going out all the time. There's masterclasses going out all the time. They're doing lives, they're doing YouTubes, they're doing all this stuff, and they're just giving constant amounts of content and giving to their clients and really focusing on making sure that people are aware of how much value is in their world.
Yeah, for sure. I love that point.
Number 5, Tim, take us through.
Yeah, so ads definitely need to be in your strategy. We've spoken about this on the podcast. We feel social media is going to move to a pay-to-play model in the future, which means these ad strategies that we use and suggest are going to be leveraged quite heavily going forward. I feel like when I say we, I speak for both of us here, you need organic content for that branding piece. And then when people come and check you out, obviously you're going to tick all the boxes from a content point of view. But ads is usually what brings new eyeballs into our audiences, which is great. And if you're not adding new eyeballs to your audiences, you're going to be slowly dying. So I guess the major component of our marketing strategy at Success School is paid, and we are bringing people in that fit the criteria. They are within the age demographic, they have the right jobs, they are coaches, consultants, agencies. We're bringing them in and then we're nurturing them with emails, content, long form, and podcast. So if we look at it from like a high level funnel point of view, ads are at the top capturing people, and then we're working people all the way to the bottom of the funnel, and bottom of the funnel for us is email, driving them to an offer.
Yeah, absolutely. And our clients that are making the most money, that are running the best they're all running ads, obviously. Yep. What kind of ads are they running? What's working? Like what's kind of hot right now for ads? Obviously this changes all the time, but like what are you seeing? Like, you know, if we look at the people who are making the most money through ads or getting the most emails collected or getting the cheapest leads, maybe all of those things. Yeah. What kind of ads are they running?
So 3 ad strategies. The first one I call Follow Me Funnel. So you're going to write 5 pieces of content, $5 a day each. You're going to let Facebook target whoever they find with this. You just want to call them out in the content. So if you're targeting coaches, call them out in the content. Then you want to retarget anyone that's seen that or is an Instagram follower, Facebook follower on your email list with a VSL funnel. So a VSL funnel is typically where you're teaching them how to do something in a certain time period, and then at the end of it you're going to invite them on a call. So you've attracted them into your audience at the top, the Follow Me funnel. You've shown them that you know your shit and you know what you're doing, and then you've offered them to jump on a call. The third one is a lead magnet funnel. So essentially you're solving a problem for them, and then you're showing that you are the expert, and then you're retargeting them with emails or just sending an email sequence on top of that. So they're the top 3: Follow Me funnel, VSL funnel, and then a lead magnet funnel, which we are going to nurture with email.
Yeah, absolutely. And
Does
guys,
that answer the question?
Yeah, totally. The reason that we run ads, yes, new eyeballs and email addresses, and emails where it's bottom of funnels where we make the most, it's where we make the most money. It's where a lot of our clients make the most money. It's always worked. It will always work, but you need emails to send emails. So it's just such a no-brainer.
I got a couple of follow-up questions for you. Where did people go wrong with their content plan and their marketing from what we've seen in Success School? Like, where do people go wrong in terms of attracting new people? Is it like they're overthinking it, or is it they're not taking enough action, or they are not reviewing if the stuff's even working? Like, what do you think, and where do you think they go wrong?
I think that they're not bringing enough new eyeballs into their world. And the only way that organic is going to bring new eyeballs into your world is if you really spend a lot of time figuring out how to make that happen.
Yeah.
It's possible, of course. People go viral all the time. But if you look at anyone who's gone viral, it's very rarely an accident, unless you've gone viral for the wrong things. But it's usually you go viral and then you post a lot, trying to figure out what works, trying to figure out what the hook is, or this video got more likes, or this video got more reach. Okay, this video got posted to more different eyeballs, new non-followers, right? And then they try and make more and more and more and more of that. If you aren't willing to play that game, you have to pay to play. Like if you're not willing, we're not willing. You and I are not willing to continue trying to go viral. And so we don't play the game, and so we pay to play. We have constant growth in our audiences everywhere because we run ads. That's 90% of the reason why we have constant audience. So number one is they don't bring enough audience in.
Yep.
What do you reckon?
Yeah, I think follower growth and just not prioritizing it just becomes an afterthought for people.
Yeah, there's a lot of people who are posting like on the day still.
On the day, yeah, there's nothing scheduled, it's not planned, it's not structured. I think you will lose trust as a brand if you do that and you are just missing days. And, I look at like people that I want to work with, I want to see them posting at least 4 times a week.
Minimum.
If I'm working with them in a business context, I want to see what they're about. I want to know their values. I want to know what they're about. I want to see that it's good quality. I want to see it's high quality. I want to see that it looks good. I think that's the major missing piece for me.
Totally. And I think the other thing that I'll add to that is like, if you are currently creating posts and posting them on the fly and you know that you shouldn't be, but you don't want to use a scheduling tool because it hurts your reach or whatever, honestly, you're better off using a scheduling tool because at least it's going up. Do you know what I mean? Like if you are still waiting and on the fly creating content, like I think most entrepreneurs got into business to do the thing that they want to do. Most of that is not marketing.
Yeah.
However, unfortunately, this is the game. And if you really want to grow your business, you are going to have to learn how to be a marketer.
Yeah.
Even if at some point you want to outsource that, you do have to learn how to be a marketer to be able to outsource it.
For sure. All right, guys, that was a great episode. Please let us know. Send us a DM, either of us, if you got something out of that podcast. As always, we're trying to get our subscriber count up. So make sure whatever platform you're on, you hit that subscribe button. Even maybe leave us a review. That would be incredible.
That would be so nice.
Any final thoughts, Steph?
No, thank you guys so much for listening. Please share the show and we'll see you next week.
Thanks, guys.